Hey there, 8th graders, and welcome back. Get ready because today's explainer is quite literally all about how you, yes you, are going to shape the future. We're diving deep into citizenship, civil rights, and the actual power you hold to protect our democracy. We aren't just talking about a bunch of arbitrary rules today. We're looking at the very mechanics of freedom. This is all about how you will actively defend your community and ensure justice for absolutely everyone around you. Let's get into it. Okay, let's take a quick look at our roadmap for today. We'll be covering 4 main stops. First, the foundation of justice. Second, voting, your voice matters. Third, juries, protecting our freedoms. And fourth, education requires biblical morality. All right, kicking things off with Section 1, the foundation of justice, rooting our civic duties in deep moral ground. Let's look at this incredible quote from Exodus 18:21. It says, "Select capable men from all the people, men who fear God, trustworthy men who hate dishonest gain, and appoint them as officials over thousands, hundreds, fifties, and tens." Now, you might be thinking, well, this is ancient wisdom, right? But think about how perfectly it applies to us today. Selecting leaders has always required a foundational moral standard. Notice that highly specific phrase in there, men who hate dishonest gain. We are called to find truly trustworthy people to put into positions of power, from the absolute smallest local groups of 10 all the way up to massive groups of thousands. That standard of integrity, that is the rock-solid bedrock of a fair society. So what does this all mean for us? Well, here is the big idea for today. Voting and serving on a jury are 2 of the absolute most vital responsibilities you'll have as a U.S. citizen. Why? Because both of these actions actively protect our democracy and they both uphold justice. Think about it like this. If we as citizens just kind of shrug and ignore these 2 monumental duties, what happens? The decisions made by our government could easily be hijacked by a tiny handful of people. Court cases could become entirely unfair. We are literally the guardians of this system. Moving right along to Section 2, voting. Your voice matters, and we're going to see exactly why your vote is your voice. 18. That is the magic number, guys. This is the exact age when you, as a citizen, unlock the incredible power to vote. Fun fact, it wasn't always like that until the 26th Amendment was passed back in 1971. And you know what is so beautiful about our system today? It's that you have the right to vote in elections without any discrimination based on your race, your gender, or your wealth. When you blow out those 18 candles, your voice holds the exact same weight at the ballot box as a billionaire or some famous celebrity. No difference whatsoever. So here is a homework question I want you to really chew on. Why is voting so important in a democracy? Take a second, really think about that. Well, it's pretty simple when it comes down to it. Voting is how citizens choose their leaders and actually influence laws. It is how you take that standard we talked about, trusting capable, honest people, and actually put them into office to make decisions for your community. And this brilliantly illustrates how your vote functions on completely different levels. It's kind of like a multi-tool. Over in local elections, you're deciding on everyday things like your schools, the roads you drive on, and the parks you hang out in. Then, in national elections, you're voting for the presidency. We obviously hear a ton about the president on the news. But remember, your vote shapes your everyday local infrastructure just as it shapes the highest office in the land. Every single vote counts toward shaping your daily life. Now, here's the flip side. Actually, scratch that. It's more of a stark reality check. Not voting means letting others decide for you. Voting is a massive responsibility. If you choose to just sit out on election day, you aren't really protesting. You're just handing over the keys to your community, your schools, and your own future to someone else. You are literally letting someone else's voice drown out yours. Don't let that happen. All right, on to Section 3. Juries, protecting our freedoms. This is our ultimate shield against government overreach. This brings up another great question to pique your curiosity. What actually is the role of a jury? Like, what really happens when ordinary people step inside a courtroom? Well, a jury is basically a group of ordinary citizens who help ensure justice by deciding guilt or innocence in criminal cases or responsibility in civil cases. I want you to really notice those 2 words, ordinary citizens. It is not a room full of elite politicians or government agents in suits making the final call. It's a group of peers. When called to serve, everyday people, just like you and your families, are the ones rolling up their sleeves and ensuring the trials are completely fair. So the crucial point we need to understand is this. Why is jury service a strict duty and not just, an optional choice? Why can't you just opt out if you'd rather stay home and play video games?
Well, here is why. Juries prevent the government from having total control over court decisions. Without juries, think about it. The government would have the terrifying power to arrest someone, charge them, and then just have a government employee decide if they are guilty. I mean, that is total, absolute control. The jury is a vital, unbreakable shield that protects individual rights. When you serve on a jury, you are actively standing right between a citizen and the awesome power of the state. It's an incredible, necessary duty.
Finally, bringing it all together in Section 4, Education Requires Biblical Morality, the HeroesMart Academy Philosophy. The Godly Learner's philosophy lays it out super clearly. Education without biblical morality will hurt. Let me ask you guys something. What is the point of being highly smart and super educated if you just continue making bad, unguided choices that hurt yourself and the people around you? Being smart is completely pointless if your moral compass is broken. Morality is exactly what guides us to use our education and our powerful civic duties like voting and jury service for the ultimate good of everyone.
And we see this promise beautifully backed up in Romans 8:6-7, which offers peace of mind to everyone who keeps their mind spiritual. That is the ultimate goal here. Intertwining your faith with your education brings genuine peace and clarity. When you engage with all these big concepts spiritually, you don't just become a smarter student. You become a wiser, more peaceful, and vastly more effective citizen.
So, as we wrap up this explainer, I want to leave you looking right at this final challenge. Give one way you can prepare to be an informed voter. You might not be 18 just yet, but trust me, the preparation starts today. How will you build your moral foundation? How will you learn about the issues in your own local community? The future of our justice system and our democracy will very soon be entirely in your hands. So, are you ready?